Good morning, everybody. You're tuned in to Crackcore. Thank you for being here with me today, which is Thursday, the 17th of August, 2023. So, today we're talking about respect. Respect. The ever elusive respect. Now, respect is something that I believe should be given first and foremost. However, it's not unconditional. Respect is upkept. Trust is earned. Respect is given. Both respect and trust are conditional. They are ultimately diminished when somebody abuses that respect or abuses that trust. However, how they are given in the first place, I believe, is slightly different. You know, respect is something you should give to everybody until it's proven otherwise, whether they deserve it or not. Like I say, respect is upkept. Trust is ultimately earned. I believe that somebody, if you're going to trust somebody, it should be earned. Funnily enough, you kind of have to trust somebody in the first place to figure out whether they're trustworthy or not. So perhaps it's both the same. Who knows? But respect is most definitely something that should be given to everybody. Now, a lot of people make judgments, don't they? They cast judgment on either a first opinion on, say, for instance, how somebody looks, maybe how they dress, perhaps, you know, they speak a certain way, they've got a certain type of accent, I don't know. But a lot of people cast aspersions, don't they? They make a judgment of somebody based on that first impression, on what they see. But ultimately, that is literally what they see, and what they're judging at that point is only based upon their own personal inner projections and judgments, you know, based on their own selves and their own lives. It kind of has nothing to do at that point with the other person, which is why respect should be given, you know, just across the board. Because until you actually get to know somebody, you really don't know them, do you? So you can meet somebody for the first time or see them from across the street, and you know, somebody could walk into a room, and if you cast a judgment straight away based on the physical of how they sound, how they look, how they speak, you're actually, and if you choose to then not respect that person based on that, well, you're disrespecting somebody based on who they are not, because that's literally just your perception of that individual. My point is, if you take the time to get to know somebody, then ultimately at that point it becomes, you know, the choice of whether you want to respect somebody or not. Which is why, like I say, at first you should always respect somebody, because it's just respectful. Like I said, respect is upkept. Now, if you have had a certain life experience which has given you certain perceptions on life, and then somebody, after getting to know them, projects themselves in a way that you don't respect, well, then that's your choice, isn't it? You choose not to respect that person, well, fucking have at it, bro. It doesn't matter at that point. Because it's okay for you to, you know, to not like somebody or to not respect somebody, you know. That's perfectly fine. We've all got our path in life. But at least you're making your choice based upon an actual choice, as opposed to just a fucking snap judgment of that person, which is fair. That's fair. Now, just a couple of examples here. I mean, I recently met somebody, and at first glance, just an old guy, you know. He's spry, you know, he's clearly got something about him. But he's an older gentleman, and, you know, he's tall, quite skinny, rides a push bike, you know, he's got a certain type of character about him. I like chatting to the bloke. So, you know, again, in a respectful manner. As it turns out, this guy was 24 years in the British military, worked himself up to tank commander. Now, say what you want about war, I disagree with it wholly. I think that the people that are abused in war, on both sides of the fight, suffer a tragic loss to their humanity, and ultimately it's a real fucking shame that people have to go to war and die on either side of a fight for basically autocratic fucking corporatocracy, because that's what all of this is about. Money. These fucking people send folks to die for money and power. It's disgusting. But nonetheless, the individuals are still individuals making individual choices. They're still the people putting their lives on the line, whether or not that particular cause is theirs or not, whether or not it's a fucking just cause, matters not. They're still there with their life on the line, whether it be in vain or not. These people are doing it for the right reasons most of the time, you know, and my hat is fucking off to them, you know, like, especially this guy. He worked his way up from a gunner to a commander, and he respects the fact that in the military there is reward for hard work, and you know, reward for basically being a good soldier. He left the military and got a job as a civilian, and he had a really rough time of adapting to civilian life, because people out here give no respect. For the most part, the majority of people do cast snap judgments upon people. We've all been fucking, you know, like, we've all done it. We've all been victim of it, and we've all done it. At the end of the day, like, fucking Christ, me more than most. This is why I feel as though I'm able to talk about this from a place of experience, because I've done it many, many times. And you know what? I still do it. But at least now I have a sense of autonomy about it. I can see what I'm doing, and I say, okay, I'm going to stop that right now. Lots of folks live their lives pointing the finger and disrespecting people, making snap judgments, and they enjoy it. It's terrible, really. I mean, we could go into the psychology of it. Perhaps we'll leave that for another video. In fact, I think we should. You know, mark that one down, and if I forget, remind me. But my point is about this gentleman, right? He said to me, he said, I've had a tough time adjusting because I've been at war. At war. Can you imagine what it's like to be at war? Your life, it's literally now the animal kingdom, isn't it? You know, out there in the animal kingdom, your life is literally in the balance every day. You know, you could be a bird, a floor dweller, you know, a squirrel, whatever. Every single day, you are predator or prey. That's the law of nature. Now, out at war, that's basically the same. You're predator or prey. Any moment of any day, somebody could fucking shoot you in the face. Whether it be from close range or from distance, it doesn't matter. You could die. Every single day could be your last. And at war, you know, because that's just literally being on parade somewhere in another country, fucking holding it down. You know, like occupying a country or what have you. Peacekeeping, as they call it. But if you're at war, Christ, you guarantee every day could be your last. Now, this guy's fucking been at war. He's been shot at. He's taken supplies to the front line using a fleet of tanks, you know, as like an escort. This is heavy shit, man. And then to be disrespected based on a snap judgment of perhaps what you look like, some old guy, you know, a skinny old dude. Fucking, it's quite hard to take. But I said to him, right, and I truly believe this, that human beings shouldn't have to wear a CV of their life accomplishments on their fucking chest so that other people can read it, so they give respect. That shouldn't be the case at all. People should give respect, because the truth is, you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know what that person's been through. You don't know what their life has fucking dished out to them. You don't know the life they've lived. You know, you don't know what they've given, man. So it's only right, considering that you don't know that person, to give them some damn respect. Until, of course, they turn around and their actions prove otherwise of whether or not they are worthy of that respect. But at least at that point, you've given somebody the respect they deserve, you know, by giving them face value respect based on the fact that you don't know them yet. You've given them that chance. And that's where we should all, I think, fucking start with making a change in our society with regards to how we relate to one another. If we can respect each other until that respect is proven to be unworthy, you know, for that individual, then basically we'll start to see a bit of a better world, I think. Because I think self-respect and self-love is where we start with ourselves. But moving forward, we then have to respect other people. If you can respect yourself and love yourself, regardless of where your life path has taken you, and use your own personal journey as a way to elevate yourself and push yourself forward in an evolutionary manner, well, then you can damn well take somebody else for face value slightly less and get to know them, you know, before you start to disrespect them. Because at the end of the day, it's about taking what you've learned from yourself. If you can come to terms with your own life and respect yourself and love yourself regardless, well, then you can give that to somebody else now. It's about passing it on and respecting others and giving, you know, having, you know, love for other people. You know, you don't have to like them forever. You don't have to get on with them should they prove themselves to not be your type of person. But at least from the outset, you've been respectful. And I guarantee you, if you are respectful to somebody else, doesn't matter who they are, they will be respectful in return. They will show you more love and respect if you respect them. Because I guarantee you, half these people that get disrespected on face value They get it all the time. And they're sick of it because they're human beings, man. They're individual human beings. And just because they look a certain way, just because they fucking speak a certain way, you know, doesn't mean to say that they don't deserve your respect. But because they look that way and they sound that way, a lot of people do disrespect them, treat them differently. They are sick of it. So as soon as somebody comes along who, you know, doesn't give them respect again, well, they think, fuck it. And they act a certain way. It's like you create the fucking beast, man. Now, of course, it's down to us as individuals to act accordingly. You know, you could go into a whole diatribe as to how just because people treat you like shit, it doesn't mean to say you have to act like it. And that is the truth. But again, we're all human beings, man, and if you're continuously being disrespected, well, it does create a bit of a barrier, doesn't it? And you do have a bit of a, I'm sure you will gain a bit of a fuck it mentality. But the key is how that person reacts when somebody gives them that unconditional respect on the outset, the first time they've met them. All of a sudden, it triggers something. You watch it. You watch somebody. I tell you what, just fucking sit there in a public space, whether it be in a restaurant, on a bus, whatever. And you, doesn't matter, it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow. It might take you a while to find the perfect candidate, right? But just do an experiment. You will see somebody at some point getting zero respect. And how they react to it. You be that person. Should the opportunity arise, you don't have to manufacture it and make it fake, but should the opportunity arise where you're able to interact with that individual and give them some respect and speak to them in a respectful manner. I don't mean a condescending manner, you know, because these people, you don't want to give anybody pity, because that's fucking just as bad as disrespect, because that is disrespectful. Because again, why would you give somebody pity when they don't fucking need it? Because you don't know that they need it. So I mean, this is why it kind of twists me up a little bit when I see folks giving homeless people money and buying them shopping and shit when they've not asked for it. Would it not be a better thing to ask that person if they need anything, humbly as well, without judgment? Ask them just generally, are you in need of anything? Can I help in any way? And if so, what would you like? And whatever they fucking want, you've offered the fucking help. It's up to you now to decide whether you want to do it. But don't judge them for what it is they've asked for. You know, maybe they're going to ask you for a bottle of fucking beer. What difference to your life does it make if that person drinks a bottle of beer? Fuck it. You've asked if you want them, if they want any help. And they've said, yeah, I'll have a bottle of beer, thanks. If you then go and buy them that beer, well, you've made their fucking day, haven't you? You've been non-judgmental. We all drink fucking beer. Why is it our choice? Why is it our fucking judgment that says, oh, I'm not buying him beer? Who do you think needs it more? Or, you know, people take it upon themselves to buy a fucking sandwich and a packet of crisps and give it to these people. It's like, fucking hell, man. What if he doesn't like cheese? He's a human being. Like, give the fucking guy a break. Ask him. Interact. Give the person some respect. I guarantee you, homeless folks have lived a fucking life, dude. Why do you think they're fucking homeless? They've been fucking chewed up and spat out, man. They're the people you need to be giving respect if you're going to interact with them. Be respectful to these people. They're human beings. And this is my point. People just fucking take it upon themselves to judge and to make decisions for others, whether it be based on their perception of what their actions have done to get them there, you know, or just fucking face value, whether someone's a bit fucking grubby or not. But I guarantee you give this person respect instead of pity, and you watch the difference in the interaction that you have, and I guarantee you, man, like, it will help them in some way. Because we all need respect. We all need self-respect. That's the most important thing. But if you can give respect as well to other people, well, that's equally as important, man. Because now, in fact, it's probably more important, because you've gained your own self-respect. You've got the power over that to have for yourself. But if you can now pass that on, if you can give that to somebody else, well, isn't that a wonderful thing? Isn't it fantastic? You're now giving respect to somebody else, which will buffer out, which will give them more self-respect. And it's now becoming a feedback loop. The world becomes stronger because of it. Everything is a feedback loop, man. I say this all the time. Everything is like a feedback loop. What you give eventually fucking makes things that way. You know, you get self-respect, you give self-respect, you create more self-respect. It's as simple as that. Then that person becomes more fucking self-respecting. They give other people more respect, and then it creates more, and it's a fucking knock-on effect. It's not that hard. You know, if we measure our own actions and we treat each other how we want to be treated, well, then life isn't going to be all that bad. But how you want to be treated comes down to how you view yourself. Which is why dealing with the self first and foremost is the most important part of this, because that's ultimately the first fucking step and where it has to start. That's where it begins. Because how you treat others, if you're going to treat others how you want to be treated, and you've got a fucking inferiority complex, or you know, you haven't kind of worked through your own personal fucking traumas, like we said on the you know, the nice guy mistakes are just a projection of low self-esteem in others. Ultimately, you're creating more negativity in the world by treating others the way you have been treated, or working through that fucking trauma by projecting it onto others. So this is why the self-work is the most important part. It's the catalyst, because then when you fucking have self-respect, then you start treating other people with respect, and it creates more respect. So if you treat others how you want to be treated, brilliant. But make sure you treat yourself good first. And on that note, this is Craigcore signing off. This has been a good one. I appreciate you being here with me today. I'm going to wish love and peace to all things everywhere. This is Craigcore signing off. Peace.